Good day, everyone. Trust you're doing well today. Let's see how the market is actually trading for today, right? But yesterday, the ASI closed at 240,750 points. So yesterday, the market cap, dropped by 556 billion to settle at 155.42 trillion. So due to ASI getting weak yesterday, so basically the ASI fell by 860.76 points. So in percentage, we actually lost 0.36% yesterday in yesterday's market. So in essence, the market has fallen for 7 days straight in a row. Yesterday, top gainers were HM Call, Owando PLC, Coronation Insurance, UAC, Avacap, Cavatin. Yesterday, top losers were International Energy, Arado Holdings, Universal Insurance, Resta Express, Royal Express, NGS Group, and United Capital. So right now, let's take a look at trending stocks, right? Let's see how some stocks are actually performing in real time. So number one on the list is MTN. So let's see how MTN is performing. So last time we spoke about MTN, I told you MTN is losing strength, it's losing volume, and the market is dipping and kind of obeying to ASI. So currently, nothing has actually changed, but I just want to sound one alarm. Some people might just start rushing in right now and be thinking, yeah, it's the time to buy the dip for MTN because they be thinking MTN is trading at a discount. No, actually, the dip just started for MTN. So once you buy the dip, technically the dip will keep dipping because it actually just started. So when we see this volume, 3 days ago, huge volume sold off. So technically, this was huge money that left the MTN market, right? That was like 3 days ago on Monday, right? So if you buy right now, let's say you buy right now, right? Thinking this is like a discount. Tomorrow or probably next week, a huge sale might still occur again, such that your dip will dip again. So it's not actually advisable to buy MTN right now. Let's just see where the bottom will be because technically the dip just started for MTN. Like I said the last time, the last correction that happened in June, MTN really didn't correct with other stocks. In fact, most large cap stocks didn't correct so much, apart from Access and UBA. So most large cap stocks didn't really correct that much in the banking sector, I mean. So next is Fidelity. Let's see what's going on in Fidelity Bank. So we can see in real time, Fidelity, what actually happened in Fidelity is during the recovery, the slight recovery back in July, right? Fidelity Bank did made attempts to recover, but typically what's going on here is smart money didn't come to the market for Fidelity Bank. They were in the market, but they typically weren't buying Fidelity Bank. That's because Fidelity Bank didn't really, correct as much. So, and again, plus the fact that the Dangote effect is still something to think about. So, Fidelity Bank, no smart money actually came to buy this stock. The only time, there was huge buy volume for Fidelity Bank was this area whereby this accumulation area. We can see this was the accumulation phase, right? That occurred in June. So by July, during the markup phase by July, smart money just didn't come to this market. So that's the effect. That's the effect of the ASI and the Dangote effect, the Dangote refinery IPO effect. And right now, what's going on today is, as of today, Thursday, there's huge volume of sales. So this is a huge sale going on right now in Fidelity stock. Next is Firstholdco. Let's see what's going on in Firstholdco. So I've been sounding the alarm for Firstholdco. Like, we need fresh money to buy into Firstholdco, because technically, I told you, distribution has already occurred on this stock, right? Distribution has occurred, and people that seem to be buying. In fact, everybody is now tired. Both the retailers, both the smart money, they are all tired. But right now, the weakness persists. And today is Thursday, 20th of August, right? So let's say by next week, there'll be like a pullback. There'll be a pullback in Firstholdco, because if this flat volume persists, whereby money is actually not coming in, because technically everybody is tired, right? Both institutional money, in fact, institutional money, which are smart money, they've left. So retail buyers are actually thinking more. Retail buyers will still come and buy, and for them to like see profit. But it is what it is right now. Everybody is tired, and some people are already exiting right now. Very few people. Some people are exiting. So by next week, I think a pullback will occur in Firstholdco, because distribution has taken place already, and it's just what is going to happen is just inevitable. Except one, smart money just decide to like buy into Firstholdco right now, and just push it up. It will be like life injected into it. But right now, by next week there'll be a pullback. It's just so inevitable. So next, let's see VFD Group. So what's happening in VFD Group? Well, typically this rally started here, right? This is huge accumulation from one smart money here. Okay, so when this accumulation began, just one smart money, because this is not huge. This didn't take days, just one day, which happened on the 23rd July, right? So this smart money, right, has been riding, and at some point it decided to leave at this point. So what then began to happen was it began distributing, especially on these 2 days. It began distributing. Then, for some reason, some retail buyers and another smart money just feel the need to defend this stock after this person, this one smart money, this huge money decided to leave. So on the 13th of August, that was last week Thursday, this transaction occurred. This was 151.83 million transaction in just one single day. That was last week Thursday. This kind of stabilized the market. You can see this doji candle. This doji candle means there was huge fight that occurred here. Sales was ongoing at the same time. Massive absorption of buying pressure also occurred. That's what doji candle means. So right now, this lifeline by both this institution plus retailers is what is giving me faith, right, in these stocks. However, I've promised my core members in my Telegram group that if I see any sign of weakness again, right, I'll let them know, just so I tell them when we would exit. So, but right now, there is hope and faith in this stock right now. So that'll be all for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. You have a nice day.